Welcome to another edition of Our City. A few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. On Thursday, September 24th at 11:30 in the morning, I'm going to attend a grand opening for the new Station Commons apartment at 727 Pennsylvania Avenue near the North Elizabeth train station and a Ronald Reagan school. On Friday, September 25th at 11 o'clock in the morning, join members of the Office on Aging at their international celebration. This event will be held at Liberty Square. The Senior Center is located at 240 Elizabeth Avenue. And later that evening, around 6 o'clock, I'm going to attend a basketball game to raise awareness for prostate cancer. If you remember, it was a subject of last week's show with director Christina Garlick and Miss Andrea Topping. And this basketball game, raising the awareness of prostate cancer, will be held at the Miller Evans Logan Center at 161 First Street in our city. And following that event, the Boy Scouts of America will have a 2015 Service Awards. This event will be held at the Portuguese Instructive Social Club located at 417 Highway number 1. And on Saturday, September 26th at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll attend the Blessed Fest. This is hosted by Vision. This event will take place at the Greater Mount Teeman AME Church located at 160 Madison Avenue. And that evening, the Women's Scholarship Club anniversary begins at 7 o'clock. This event will be held at the Newark Airport Hilton Hotel located at 128 Frontage Road in the city of Newark, actually. If you need more information concerning these events or any other events, please call our Public Information Office at 820-4124. And please stay with us after these messages. I'll be back to talk about youth anti-rabies vaccination program and the Animal Control Center here in our city.
Sometimes you learn by helping others learn. Kane University.
Welcome back to our city. I'm pleased to be joined by Mr. Mark Colicchio, who's the health officer for the city of Elizabeth, and Mr. Lamar Grady, the animal control enforcement officer. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So why don't we start with you, Mark, on the importance for dogs and cats in order to get rabies shots?
Yes, vaccination is very important. We in public health, we stress prevention. We prevent the spread of disease. And there's no better way to prevent disease than vaccination. And it's the same for our animals.
In some states, Mark, it's required by law that cats and dogs get vaccinated. Is that the case here in New Jersey?
Yes, it's the case in New Jersey where dogs are required to be vaccinated and licensed. There are vaccinations when you get a dog for the first time, or if a dog is 4 months of age or over, the vaccination is good for a year. And then once that occurs, then vaccination is good for every 3 years. So it's extremely important not only to vaccinate your animal, but it's very important to keep the vaccinations up to date.
But it's not mandatory for cats?
No, it's not. Licensing is not mandatory for cats in the state of New Jersey. Some municipalities have ordinances that require cats to be licensed, but it's not a state mandate.
Okay. Lamar, the animal shelter, when's it open? Where is it located? Tell our viewers a little bit about the animal shelter.
The animal shelter is open from Monday through Saturday. On Mondays is 7 to 5. Tuesday through Friday would be 7 to 6 p.m. And on Saturdays, we're open from 8 to 5.
And Lamar, tell us what happens. Most constituents are concerned about the animal shelter, but suppose there's a wounded or a dead animal in the road. What happens? Who do they call? How does that animal get picked up?
If it's during the day, to the operation hours of the animal control, you can call us at 908-820-4242. If we're not there, if it's a night call, you can leave a message. Or if there's an emergency where there's a big animal that's blocking 1 and 9 on the highway or disturbing the traffic, you can notify the police and they will contact the animal control.
So have we had any crazy animals running around? Do we get deer running around?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day. There's a deer we've been trying to catch down in the port area, in back of the old Heineken distributor over there. And it's a little injured, but we can't seem to catch it. So we've been trying to call the people to get help.
call a hunter, right? I know there's probably animal lovers that are going to be angry at that statement that I said call a hunter. But that deer could not only harm himself, or could harm a car and something else, right?
Yes.
How did the deer, you think, get there? Just travel through the woods?
Yes, with all the construction going on in the city, there's a lot of deer running around, especially behind the animal control.
Oh, really?
Yes.
There's plenty back there.
Yep.
I saw one on my block one day on Coolidge Road, running down Park Avenue. I must have came from the reservation in Union or somewhere.
What did you do?
It ran away. I didn't do anything. What was I supposed to do?
You're supposed to call animal control.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, then we most of the time we would probably inform the police to give us a hand on that situation.
Okay. So, Mark, how often does the city vaccinate this service, and is there a fee to do this?
There is no fee to do this. The city provides vaccinations usually in the fall months and in the spring months, and we usually offer 2 clinics per session.
And when you say fall and spring, one month?
No, it would be 2 clinics. It would be 2 clinics in the fall and 2 clinics in the spring. I mean, they could vary either 2 in 1 month, or they can go, for example, September and then 1 in October.
Okay. So when and where is the next one going to happen here in the city of Elizabeth for rabies?
We have one coming up Thursday the 17th
of September?
From 4 to 6 in front of City Hall. And then we have one that's Saturday, September the 19th, from 2 to 4 at O'Brien Field, located on 3rd Avenue and South 7th Street. And then we have one on October the 7th from 4 to 6 p.m. at City Hall.
Hold it. Here. Don't stretch yourself.
Okay. Then we have one on Saturday, October the 10th, 2015, from 2 to 4 at the L. Ron Hubbard Park on North Broad and Salem Avenue.
So we do these outdoors in order to make sure people have access.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
Yes. And what we also want to do is we want to provide these clinics in different areas of the city, because as public health professionals, we need to go out into the community, not for the community to always come to us.
So, Lamar, do we run into rabid animals that you have to pick up? Does that happen on occasion?
Oh, so far since I've been working here, no.
Okay.
But there have been these 7 to 8 times a year we test the animal, but so far everything came back negative.
So what should somebody do if their dog has been picked up, say, by the animal health or public safety, or was out on its loose and you guys happen to pick it up, some other neighbor called and complained? What should the person do who feels they've lost their dog or their cat?
The first thing they should do is pick up the phone and call the animal control, and there we'll make the necessary arrangements. We'll ask them to come down, and either they could bring a photo or a picture of the animal, or hopefully their animal will be licensed, and then we would be able to give them a phone call saying to notify them that we have your animal.
Okay. And Mark, what is required from the owner of the animal at the time when they come in for the vaccination?
Well, what is required is that they bring the animal either in a container, crate, or have the animal on a leash and maintain control. And then
who actually gives the shots? Is there a veterinarian there?
Our veterinarian provides the vaccination. And
for more information, where would they call the residents for this?
The residents can call 908-820-4113 or 908-820-4018.
So, Lamar, what should I do if I cannot keep the animal any longer? I have one, it's quite sick or something. What is
well, the first thing you do, you give us a call. We'll make the necessary arrangements. Our surrender day for the Elizabeth Animal Control is on Thursdays from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. You just have to bring identification, and we'll make the necessary arrangements. You bring the animal down, you surrender the animal, everything is free.
And what can I do about, sometimes you get a squirrel in an attic, sometimes you get a raccoon in the garage, sometimes you get something running around in the yard, and it's kind of like a wild animal, basically. They crawl through the eaves of the gutters. How do you deal with that?
If it's a wild animal, if it's in a garage or in the backyard, you will notify Elizabeth Animal Control, and what we do is we will put you on the trap list. and everything is free. We put you on a list. We get you your name. We'll come out. We'll set the trap for you, and we'll pick the animal up. Now, if it's an attic, what we try to do is trying to stay out of people's homes from going inside just in case something gets missing or broken. If it's an elderly person, we'll probably do the best we can to help them. But we normally tell people to call pest control, a licensed pest control operator, to get inside the attic.
So if it's inside the house, then the homeowner's going to have to figure that out on their own.
Yeah, we normally would come there and look at the situation and then try and go from there.
And Lamar, one of the calls that sometimes we get in our offices and throughout City Hall is somebody is neglecting a dog, and they're leaving the dog outside all day, and it barks all day or barks all night. They leave it out in the morning, and so, you know, do you get involved in that, Mark, more so than Lamar?
No, Lamar would get involved in it. I would come into it when and if the SPCA is involved in the case, or if it's a more serious case.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's unsanitary conditions in the household, or if the animals are not living in proper conditions, I would get in from the public health end of it.
And the owner would face a summons or be told to clean it up?
Yes, the owner would be told to clean it up, and depending on the severity of the case, we would issue summonses for the public health portion of it, and the SPCA would determine if animal cruelty charges are warranted.
And then they would follow them up. That wouldn't be us. They would
No.
So Lamar, somebody finds a stray dog. What do?
You find a stray dog, you have a few options. You can give us a call, and we will either tell you to bring it down to us, to Elizabeth Animal Control. We're located at 518 Trenton Avenue. Or you can hold the dog, but you have to come down and give us your information, your identification, and just in case if the owner shows up. We have a grace period of holding a stray dog from 7 to 10 days. So sometimes people find animals and they want to keep it. So we let them hold it at home as long as they have the proper identification. And then when the 10 days is up, they will come down and adopt the dog.
So are there other ways to adopt a dog?
Yes.
Tell us.
Once you come down, we're on social media. We're located on a site called Shelter Helpers and Friends of Elizabeth Animal Shelter. So normally we have pictures of our animals on them sites. People see the animals, they come down. If they want to adopt the animal, they take a look at it, the individual dog, a cat, or whatever it is that we have there. Then they have to go to City Hall, sign a piece of paper. It's a $10 fee, and then they will come down and adopt the animal.
Do we have a problem sometimes where people just want to drop their animal off and leave?
All the time.
They just tie them up and
tie them up on the side of the shelter, in front of the shelter, anywhere on the streets. So far this year, we're moving pretty fast. We're over 300 animals, dogs, and 300 cats.
And we try to adopt as many as we can.
Yes.
That's a good policy. I mean,
right.
Yeah. So, Mark, on the vaccinations and the rabies, how many dogs and cats do you think you do in a setting, in a session?
In a setting, we do over 100. We do over 100 animals in the 2-hour setting.
So that'll wind up with 4 or 5. You could do 1,000 animals in 10 settings or so, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Which is our goal. The more, the merrier.
Yeah. And most people are understanding that this is a requirement.
Absolutely, yes.
Do you get any exotic animals? Do they bring any snakes or any other crazy things in there?
At the clinics, no, we usually only get dogs and cats.
Do you see any other exotic animals?
Yes, we just picked a snake up the other day.
You did?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. At Federal Express, it's a Honduran milk snake.
A Hungarian milk snake? Honduran milk snake.
Milk snake.
And how do you know that? I mean,
once they give us the phone call, we look up the animal, the color of the stripes.
You look it up, yeah. Okay.
You got to take it easy.
Be careful.
Got to be very, very careful.
Now, what do we do with a snake? Do we destroy
most of the time, we really don't have a place to hold it. So what we're trying to do is go to one of the neighborhood pet shops, and they normally take them.
Oh, they do? Mm-hmm. Listen, gentlemen, I want to thank you for taking the time on the show and educating some of our residents about what's going on out there, and I think it's important. So thank you very much, and
anytime.
I look forward to working with you and as best we can to help the animals throughout our city. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Please stay with us after these messages, where the second half of the show, I'm going to be joined by members of the community that are going to kick off Hispanic Heritage Month here in our city.